guys, what's going on? Blaze Radio here again, starting with the first official episode. I know I had an episode before this, but this is the first official episode of the turbo build for the EF. So on today's one, I'm doing the intercooler, just putting that in. I'm still waiting on the intercooler piping to arrive, but I'm just getting an intercooler fitted into the bumper, and then we can take the bumper off and put the intercooler piping connected all up when we put the turbo in. Because obviously I can put the intercooler in and still drive it. If I put the piping in, I won't be able to drive it because I won't have an air filter. So yeah, so I'll just flip the camera around. I've got the bumper off and I've got the intercooler out, and I'll just show you everything that needs to be done. So once we've got the bumper off like we have here, currently got the bumper sitting over there, intercooler's here. What you need to do is you're going to need to make some brackets for it. I've just gone with a bit of aluminium, bent it up into an L shape, got it the right measurement, and we're going to screw it in up here, one on each side, and to hold the intercooler on, and then we'll put some bottom brackets on afterwards. But yeah, so taking the bumper off is pretty easy. It's just a few bolts here and there, literally the simplest thing ever. So yeah, our intercooler's in there. So right now I'm going to just bolt these brackets onto our intercooler and then line it all up and then mark it out, and we'll screw some drill some holes and put some bolts in. The front of it will be, top of it will be held up. Alrighty, so once brackets are bolted on, you just got to kind of sit it up. I'm going to sit mine in between these two things. So, lucky for me, my intercooler just manages to fit in between these two. Move these cables out of the way. Just push it all the way back, and then we just centralize it over there. And thankfully, it pretty much line up just in line with the headlights. So we'll line all that up, mark it out, and screw it in. I've made two markings there, made two markings, that bottom one and there. So yeah, just watch the bonnet release cable when you screw into that. Just kind of push it down or up out of the way. In my case, it'll be down, and then I'll hold that out of the way. So we'll screw some 8mm holes into there, and then put our other bolts in, or use longer bolts than this, and then we just screw a nylock nut in behind it, and then we're good to go. Cross my heart and hope to die. Two holes there, two holes there. So that one's pretty close, but it should hold in. It's got that one to hold it in. That's just kind of an extra support on it as well. So yeah, let's see if it lines up. We have an intercooler fitted. Looks pretty good. So now that we've done that, I've got to work out something to do with the bottom brackets. That's pretty secure how it is at the moment. At the bottom it's a bit iffy, but the bumper will hold it in and stuff. Coming over to the bumper, we will have to cut out, as far as I'm aware, only this section here. This section should be right because the intercooler should just sit in line with that. But yeah, this section here has to be cut out in order for the intercooler to sit outwards. So I'm just going to line it up now and see how much we need to cut out. So I've taken the intercooler out again because this section here I'm going to cut out. So I'm just going to use my multi-tool and just trim it just along there roughly. So I'll still have this bottom plate sitting up against the bumper, and it'll still will be up that, but just getting rid of this plastic bit because we don't really need it. So yeah. Alrighty guys, so I've just been cutting out the bumper with my multi-tool. So just one of these things, perfect for it, makes it super easy. Mark it all out. I've been just going step by step as I go, fitting, checking, marking. So I've trimmed out that much. I've got all little bits and pieces of it everywhere. But yeah, so I've trimmed all that out. It fits on now, so now I'm just going to go through with the multi-tool again, but with a sanding bit on it, and just sand all that up and get it all nice and smooth and flat. and then we can fit the bumper on. We've got our sanding pad on there with 120 grit sandpaper, so I'm just going to go through, sand all that up. I've got a few little markings on there of things I just need to take back a little bit, so I'm just going to do that with the sanding blade. So yeah, I'll sand all this up and then we'll put the bumper back on. Alrighty, so I got all that sanded and tidied up. I'll just get the polish out afterwards to get all that permanent marker off. So we'll chuck this back on now. So I've just put some couple of rags over the ends here until I can get some capping for it, just to stop the dust and anything getting inside it, since we don't want that flowing through our turbo system, because then it will actually end up in our turbo. So let's put the bumper back on now. Holes. Go. Just like that. So now we can just bolt it all back in and then clean it all up. So the main bolts are in. So now I'm just going to put this indicators in on this side, indicator in on that side, and then 2 bolts in the headlights up here, 2 bolts up here, and then bumper will be back on, and then we can start our cleanup and everything. Alrighty, so bumper's back on, everything's screwed together, plastic clips are all in. Bit of a sneak peek down of what it looks like. There you go, bit ugly with the rags and stuff in it, but it's only temporary until I get the intercooler piping. And then I can take the bumper off again, bring the intercooler piping up into the engine bay, and then it'll be all there, ready to go for when the turbo goes in. So yeah. Intercooler piping kit that I actually bought is Plasma Man brand. I bought one to fit for a BA Falcon, as they have the same throttle body intake manifold that comes over onto this side of the engine bay. So I bought that because I had the crossover piece. So anything else that doesn't fit, we'll just swap out, and I'll sell. If I swap out elbows and stuff, I should be able to get it all to fit in properly as well. Gonna need to do a battery relocation. Hopefully I'll be able to get it on that side next to the intercooler pipe. If not, it'll have to go into the boot. But other than that, yeah, hopefully the intercooler piping arrives. I've got valve springs to do, and then once all that's done, we can put the turbo in. So yeah, it's gonna be a couple of months along these videos. But yeah. So yeah, now I'm just gonna tidy up the front bumper, give it a bit of a polish off all that marker, tidy up all my tools. There's literally a mess here. I'm gonna give the driveway a vacuum up all my little swarf and plastic shavings and stuff. So yeah, but it's coming along. First episode done. All right guys, that's gonna be it for this video. So yeah, this was the first actual step in the turbo kit series. So intercooler's in and all good. We'll have to take the bumper off again eventually when my intercooler piping arrives. Other than that, it actually went really well. I'm pretty happy with myself managing to get that done without any help. So yeah, just give you one last look. So there it all is, looking good. Can easily tell it's a turbo now. So hopefully I don't get pulled over because I'm still on my P-plates. But if I do get pulled over, I'll just be like, hey, off my P-plates in a couple of months, and I'm building it to be a turbo by then. So, and I can just show it's not connected to anything. So yeah, please like, comment any questions about it if you want. There'll be a whole series over the next 4 months or so, or 3 months now actually. It'll be done by 14th of April, because that's the day I get my open license. I want to have this finished by then, so the day I get my opens, I can go out and I can drive in my Turbo Falcon. So yeah, please subscribe, invite any friends and family, trying to get out there. Yeah, and I'll see you guys in my next video.